It's kind of surreal how fast this happened.
It was all just dirt fields and nothing really there.
From the time we put the shovels into the ground to when we actually have large customers building that has been in record break.
Behind me is the start of what will be the largest cluster of non-Nvidia chips in the world. And Amazon's newest data center mega project now
We're still
fully
building on a proposition that we may not end up seeing be realized. It's just crazy how much building is going on.
These deals all sound great on paper, but they only materialize when they're actually racked and loaded and usable by the customer, and Amazon is incredible at that.
Here in Indiana, this is just the first phase, with 2 more campuses under construction now, for a total of 30 buildings on this 1,200 acres. It'll consume 2.2 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power more than 1 million homes, and millions of gallons of water, which has some local leaders and residents worried.
I was for some of the growth, and my friends tried to tell me, you can't let them come in because once they get their toe in there, they'll want more. And that's exactly what happened.
As Amazon plans out more facilities for Project Rainier in Mississippi and beyond, we sit down with top leaders to ask how this Indiana site came together so quickly, where all that power will come from, and how Anthropic will train its AI here entirely without Nvidia.
We introduced the concept of an Indiana data center to Amazon, and they basically said, what do you have? So we pointed Amazon to that location and the volume of extra high voltage transmission lines that exist, as well as a very substantial substation.
By the spring of 2023, Amazon was making site visits. Big local kickbacks eased the path. The county granted Amazon more than $4 billion in property and technology tax exemptions over 35 years. State legislation passed in 2019 will save Amazon some $4 billion more over 50 years. In exchange, big tech companies have been trying all sorts of structures to help them build as fast as possible, like tents Meta's put up as it builds a data center in Ohio. In Indiana, AWS has changed to another building type, adding efficiency and newer tech like liquid cooling for the next buildings under construction now.
It's not just fast, but it is secure and reliable AWS infrastructure. And so it's not a tent out there in a field. It is a industrial enterprise scale data center.
Amazon is paying $7 million for highway improvements, and county officials told CNBC it's negotiating up to $15 million more for road improvements near the site. Amazon is also paying $114 million for upgrades to other utilities, like a water treatment plant and sewer lines. Although speed and scale are key as Amazon joins the crowded race to build data centers for AI compute. Meta's 2-gigawatt Hyperion data center in Louisiana and OpenAI's 1-gigawatt Stargate site in Texas are 2 of the biggest that are being built now. But what else sets Amazon's apart is it's filled entirely with its own in-house custom AI chips. Behind me right now, they are working on delivering these towers. 2 of them together is going to make up 1 Ultra server. And inside of that is 64 AI chips. These are Amazon's own custom Trainium 2 chips. And what's especially interesting is there are no Nvidia GPUs in there. Amazon's been designing its own chips since 2013, starting with a specialized chip called Nitro. It bought Israeli chip startup Annapurna Labs in 2015, where we got a tour. And by 2018, had its own ARM-based server chip, Graviton. Its first AI chip, Inferentia, came in 2019. Amazon launched Trainium 1 in 2021, and Trainium 2 came out last December. AWS chips have one main advantage: keeping down costs. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said in July that Trainium 2 offers 30 to 40% better price performance than rival GPU instances.
When you're able to control the stack all the way from the lowest layer of the infrastructure, you're able to build the right set of capabilities that these model providers want, right? You don't need to add all the other capabilities that you don't need.
Some say that Trainium 1 and Inferentia 2 instances haven't been as competitive for Gen AI training due to weak hardware specs or poor software integration. What do you say to those specific critiques?
Sure, I fully admit, Trainium 1, it was our first generation chip, and that absolutely was a learning chip, both from an architecture perspective as well as a software perspective. And Trainium 2, which is where we're at now, and then Trainium 3 is where we're quite excited about our cost competitive nature out there in the market.
And now Anthropic just announced its largest TPU deal to date with Google, giving Anthropic access to up to 1 million TPUs to train its LLM Claude. Amazon's taken a different approach. Instead of focusing on a flagship model of its own, it's invested some $8 billion in Anthropic as its key AI partner, and focused on its AWS Bedrock platform to support the development of others' models.
So one of the things that's notable about the AWS partnership is we can bring that capacity into AWS Bedrock, where you have all the customers, they're ready to deploy, and they just need that capacity on top.
Founded in 2021 by former OpenAI researchers, Anthropic is focused on business clients and safety and security. Despite the recent Google deal, Anthropic has used AWS as its primary cloud provider, ever since Amazon's first big investment in Anthropic in 2023.
If you think about
it gets better power consumption per flop, and yes, that will be deployed inside of Indiana. It'll be deployed in many of our other data centers all around the world.
AWS and Anthropic are bringing the new site online during an unprecedented spending spree on AI compute, with more than $1 trillion in deals announced by OpenAI so far in 2025, among others.
You would think the appeal of attracting large big tech companies would be that they'd be paying taxes and contributing something to your economy. These big tech companies that can surely afford to pay their fair share are going to be getting a sweetheart deal.
We're rapidly adding new capacity all over the place, and so I don't know that we'll be done ever. We're going to continue to build as our customers need more capacity.